Yes, we're going to endeavour to bring you the rundown of the events in Major League Rugby. And it all kicked off on that Saturday in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. It was Miami hosting Old Glory DC. This game, wow, from start to finish, had it all. It really began with a first red card in the first 5 minutes. Can you believe it? Yes. In the end, Miami were down to 14 players, and it was DC that took a lot of advantage of that. Axel Muller going over the try line twice. DC taking a 10-0 lead, looking, even though they didn't have a preseason game, they actually looked like they were in control in this match. But Miami fought back, and they got themselves to 21-10 at halftime. Powerful work up front, and a great try from Corbisiero. He's a brilliant signing from Dallas Jackals, I must add. Really, really impressive centre. The opening 20 minutes of the second half, Miami scored another try and looked in control. And you're thinking in this game that it's a bit of a long way to come back. But DC came alive and the cards started coming out for Miami. Yeah, there were 2 yellow cards in the space of a few minutes, and then 3 tries in the last 11 minutes from DC and Corbs. I hand this over to you. I repeat, I have never seen a finish to a game of rugby like this moment. It's got everything in it. Axel Muller scores, Jason Robertson with the conversion, and DC win 31-29.
No, it was outrageous. I don't think you'll see another finish like it. I think the drama, and fair play for them to go for that crossfield to actually back yourself in that position, and then a bounce of the ball. And for me, that just took the word coach killer to a new level for me. I kept thinking as watching it, those poor Miami coaches in the box. Like, you think you've done it. If my Legion players did that to me, mate, I think that's my letter of resignation. I'm not cut out for this. I don't think I can take it. You're better off without me, because I don't even know what to say or do with myself right now.
You got to feel, you don't know what was said on the field or whatever it might be. Anyway, yeah, great win for DC to kick things off. Nola, then I had that on comms. Great to be back in the booth. I was excited about this game because this Anthem team, been hearing a lot of good things about, but I'm not going to lie, Corbs, that first half was incredibly disappointing. But for Danny Lee's men, really controlling. Great to see Xavier Mignot on his debut, the French international winger, getting over the try line. But it was the power game that came through. Tries from Pat O'Toole, a hooker. No Joe Tafate at the moment, he's injured. Pat had a great game on his 50th appearance in MLR. Moni Tongaweer got over, and Jonah Ma'u. So it was a controlling 28-0 lead into half-time. They extended that. Pat O'Toole again. He was actually man of the match then and gave him man of the match. You're welcome. But Anthem did fight back. They did fight back with a couple of tries of their own. Carl Keane getting over, and then McKean Alakan giving them something to go home with. That was positive. So great win for Nolan, great win for Danny Lee.
Massively. I think you could have taken a drinking game on how many times they said the name Danny Lee on the broadcast. You got a lot of shout-outs.
Guilty.
Especially, just not even you, Fitzy was on it too. I thought it was good to see in his debut game at the helm. And, you know, they did enough. I think against Anthem, you've got to start well, because you don't want to leave those guys in the game, because they play, you know, with their heart on their sleeves, desperate to get that first win. And I thought Nola were pretty clinical with some of their finishes. But not all doom and gloom for Anthem. I think for week 1 away, and that Nola team's very good as well. So I think, you know, I think
they'll be strong this
the measuring stick they're against maybe doesn't do them enough justice.
100%. Right, then it was Houston, and then in the next game, game 3, Houston hosting Chicago. Chicago had been there in preseason and had been annihilated. So this was going to be interesting. And it started off well for the Sabercats. They got on the board early. Andre Warner getting over, and a penalty from Kutzer gave them a 10-0 lead. But Chicago came back. They got over the try line. Good old Dylan Fawcett, and then also James Scott. So Chicago, well, they were looking good towards half-time. Then a Noah Brown red card allowed a penalty try for the Sabercats. Sabercats took the lead at the end of the first half. But the second half, the Hounds brought it back. This is a wonderful try off a centre field scrum, all the way to the width. Little kick through. Bobby Dice, Bryce Campbell. Not sure he even meant that, but it worked. And in the end, it was a lovely tip to Mac Jones to get over. Probably one of the tries of the week. And Chicago just held a bit of control. 2 penalties then from Adrian Colser, and they really took the lead, 25 points to 17. It was only right near the end when Sam Tuafua got over for Houston to bring them within 7 points, but it wasn't enough. 25-22, that is a huge win for the Hounds.
Huge win for the Hounds. Oh, who saw that coming?
No.
I think take 2 in the wind is definitely a factor. And I thought Chicago did well to, Houston will come with a lot of power and pressure. And they buckled, but they didn't completely fold.
Yeah.
And then for me, I think the way, and especially in that second half, they managed the kicking game and their forwards play. It sort of nullified some of the strengths of Houston, especially with Latham first time in charge.
Yeah.
Your old boy, I know you love Chicago. Devoto was in good form as well.
Good to see him.
And they look like a proper outfit.
Now we went to Los Angeles and talking about a side on the road, Free Jacks. This was a very strong performance from the reigning champions. Excited to see this LA team. I picked them. I generally thought they might try and get this one, but the Free Jacks started really well. No Potros. But Jed Melvin got over the try line and they took the lead early on. Bertrano, the Argentinian scrum half, on his debut, got a try, brought things back. But before half-time, the Free Jacks mounted strong pressure and eventually were awarded penalty try and Gleason was sent to the bin. That sort of kick-started into then the second half where Free Jacks really showed some good, powerful control. A wonderful kick-through from LaRue Milan for Balacana to get in the corner. That was sensational. And then the MLR player of the season last year, Wayne Vanderbank, also scored. So they were pretty commanding in the lead, 24 points to 10. LA did come back, a Christian Leolifano try, and it was here and there, very physical game. And in the end, though, it remained 24 points to 17, a brilliant win on the road, a 5-point win on the road for the Free Jacks.
And 2-0 for the East Coast in the head-to-heads on the road against West Coast teams as well. I thought that was a pretty big statement from the East Coast coming out swinging in round 1. But I'll be honest, I obviously said last week maybe LA might need to be near the bottom of the West. I don't believe that anymore. I think after watching that, I actually think they look pretty good.
They are
I think they're going to be a tough outfit. I saw enough there. For me, I think if it wasn't for some clutch defense and some big sort of, Melvin got a really sort of costly turnover at one point. Yeah. Otherwise, LA might have had a sniff in that one. And I actually think, considering the Free Jacks are one of the gold standard teams, don't sleep on LA at all. They look good.
No, they did indeed. Now in the West, to finish things off, it was San Diego Legion versus Seattle, one of the biggest rivalries in Major League Rugby, back at Torero Stadium. Wow, what a start by the Legion. First half, 4 tries, and they came by 3 different people. Christian Poitevin opened up, Ryan James then got in the corner as well. Big Jed Holloway on his debut, the Australian, scoring the 3rd. Ryan James then goes over again, and you'll think to yourself, have Seattle even got off the flight? Because what is happening here, the Legion were in very much control, continued that. Thomas Aoki goes over, 35-0. Lincoln McClutchy, clutch off the tee. But then a bit of ill-discipline, a few cards came into play. Seattle started to, well, at least gain territory and gain some pressure, and they managed to walk away with that game with 4 tries, ending it 40 points to 26 to the Legion. Corbs, a briefer note in terms of could you wish for a better start, really?
Well, when it got to, I think, 35-0, I was absolutely loving it. And I think, we wanted to start fast against them. We know Seattle are a good team. And I think, we were the better team in that first sort of 50 minutes or so. And we showed it, took some clinical moments. And just kind of put together what we've been trying to work on. So it was really nice to see. They managed to rescue a losing bonus point, which could be really costly. So from our point of view, that was frustrating. But it was just great to be back at Torero.
Great atmosphere.
Great to get a win. And I just think on a whole for San Diego, it was a very enjoyable day.
Great work. Great work all round. Some great matchups in there. Quick look at how we got on in these predictions. Unfortunately for myself, not great. Miami, obviously not getting it for both of us. NOLA gold we did get. All of us went for that. Congratulations, Corbs. Not only did you get Chicago, but you got them by 3 as well. And then you can see you and Matt McCarthy, obviously our guest last week, getting that Free Jacks result. So it was only then San Diego where I picked up another result. Pretty disappointed for myself, actually. Not a good start. Honor, mate.
Thanks, mate. Just continuing where I left off last season. Even though I got no trophy, I'm just going to now be double motivated.